The man ignites the liquor bottle. The explosive flames scare away the spiders. But soon, everyone realizes that the spiders don't seem to fear the fire. What are these people encountering? Where are the giant spiders coming from? The super horror film Vermines strikes with shock. A week ago, in the African desert, a group of insect chasers, they are under a large boulder. They discover an insect hole. The leader of the group is delighted. His companion carries a gas canister. They release the gas directly into the hole. Soon, thick smoke emerges from the other end of the hole. Relying on years of experience, the man believes the timing is right. He jumps up and blocks the hole. What the man didn't anticipate, as soon as he crouches down, a large spider jumps onto his face. After a scream, the man falls to the ground and remains motionless. However, no one among the companions comes to his rescue. They all swarm and attack. They capture the fleeing spider in a plastic container. Afterward, a companion approaches the man and kills the man with a knife. It turns out that it is a highly venomous spider. Being bitten by guarantees certain death. Because this spider is extremely rare, it has a high price. After some reselling, these spiders made their way to Paris on a cargo ship. Roman is an avid insect enthusiast. One day, while browsing an insect store, he discovered a spider of this kind. He felt a connection with this spider. After some bargaining, Roman bought it. Since he had purchased a glass container yet, he had to temporarily keep the spider in an old shoebox. Later, Roman went to his neighbor Auntie's house. Auntie often helps her struggling neighbors. However, Auntie changed jobs to take care of her son and is about to leave this place. Everyone comes to bid farewell to her, but Roman didn't expect. During the moment he left, the venomous spider managed to escape from the shoebox. When Roman learned about this situation, a considerable amount of time had passed. He searched everywhere, but still couldn't find it. Just when he wanted to take a rest, he suddenly noticed an unidentified cocoon in a photo frame. At the same time, there was suddenly a sound of wall being knocked next door. Roman swiftly moved to the location where the sound comes from. He discovered it turned out to be his sister's boyfriend, Dick, hammering tiles. His sister Ginny wanted to renovate the house, but Roman didn't want to spend money, so she had to ask her boyfriend for help. Roman didn't waste time talking with them. He picked up a shoebox and went to the underground parking lot. Neighbor Leo was waiting for him there. It turned out that Roman's profession was selling shoes. He earned money by buying and selling second-hand sneakers. While the two of them were negotiating the price, neighbor Marley passed by. He saw Roman and Leo whispering to each other. He thought they were involved in some illegal trade. Leo didn't want to waste time talking. After handing the money to Roman, he took the shoes and went back home to try them on. But as soon as he put on one foot, Leo felt pain in his soul. He took off the shoe to have a look. A large spider suddenly jumped out, startling him. He grabbed the shoe and smashed the spider into a pole. At that moment, in the other shoe, a sound suddenly came from it. Leo picked it up and looked. Now scenes of small spiders crawled onto his arm. After a scream, Leo collapsed on the ground lifeless. Leo's pet dog kept barking incessantly. Neighbors heard the commotion. They came out to see what was happening. After knocking on Leo's door with no response, Marley became concerned about Leo's well-being. He found tools to force open the door lock. When everyone arrived at the house, they only saw Leo lying on the ground. His face turned pale. He had already lost his life. After preliminary investigation, the police believed Leo likely died from an overdose of drugs, resulting in a sudden cardiac arrest. Marley immediately looked at Roman beside him. Seeing Marley's unpleasant gaze, Roman became angry. He wanted to punch Marley. In the end, the police intervened and stopped them. This also caused concern for his sister Ginny, but her boyfriend Dick reassured her. Because Dick had previous experience working in a hospital, he could confirm the wounds were not caused by a needle, but rather by some highly poisonous insect. Roman also had suspicions. He was worried it might be related to the spider he purchased. With this in mind, he returned to the room once again in an attempt to find traces of that particular spider. Yet he still couldn't find anything. Just then, Ginny suddenly screamed in the bathroom. Dick hurried to the scene. He discovered a palm-sized spider. It was crawling on the wall at that moment. Dick grabbed a broom nearby and approached. Roman also arrived at the scene. He immediately noticed it was the spider he had lost, but soon he realized this one seemed to be larger, and it appeared to be more energetic than the one he had. Dick covered the spider with a towel and then stomped on it a few times, thinking that everything was finally fine. Dick lifts the towel. The towel has turned into a spider's nest, covered in spider webs, with more than a dozen spiders crawling on it. The situation becomes chaotic. Everyone quickly escapes from the bathroom. They seal the door with tape. Roman is filled with doubt because he recently purchased a spider of the same species. But this type of spider has strict environmental requirements. Usually, they can only survive in temperatures above 15 degrees Celsius. Roman suddenly remembers the strange cocoon. He hurriedly goes to the room and takes out a shoebox to check if the cocoon is intact. As soon as he opens the box, he realizes it has transformed into the same state as the towel. Fortunately, Dick reacts quickly. He seals the box with tape, preventing a major disaster. On the other side, the apartment cleaner is tidying up. She's surprised to find the storage room is covered in spiderwebs. It feels like many years have passed. She opens the attic hatch. She discovers that the attic has turned into a spider's paradise, crawling with spiders. The ant grabs two large cans of insecticide. She sprays towards the attic. Suddenly, a giant spider jumps out of the mist and lands on the ant's face. The ant falls off the ladder and faints. Countless spiders swarm out of the attic, turning the ant into dinner. A person named Yerk is working out at home. Just as he looks up, he notices an abundance of spider webs overhead, the same area he had cleaned a few days ago. Yerk is puzzled and confused. He wants to lean forward and take a look. Suddenly, a large spider lands on his face. Hearing Yerk screams from a nearby room, Roman and the others realize something is seriously wrong. They were about to go upstairs and check, but they discovered in the corridor has already become a spider's nest. Now things have become chaotic. They want to seek help from their neighbor, the auntie. As soon as they open the door, they realize the auntie is sitting motionless on the couch. Jeannie gives her a gentle push, and the auntie collapses. She has been eaten by spiders, leaving an empty shell. Terrified, they run away. Roman finally realizes that they can't wait any longer. He quickly takes out his phone, using the information provided by the browser. They come to know the desert spider Roman purchased is a female. Unlike males, females don't have strict temperature requirements. As long as there is an abundant food supply, they will continuously lay eggs, and their breeding speed is extremely fast. They also grow rapidly. The venom of this spider is incurable. It paralyzes the central nervous system of animals, causing them to lose mobility and eventually die. This is their primary hunting method. Roman doesn't know what to do. They are no match for these spiders. So, the group decides to inform the neighbors to leave quickly. After opening a few neighbors' doors, they discover that the inside is already occupied by spiders. Dick suggests it's too late to worry about others. At this moment, the hallway has also become the spiders' territory. They have nowhere to escape. Meanwhile, Roman unexpectedly discovers when the lights are on, these spiders become extremely sluggish. They can't take advantage of this to escape, but they soon realize the lights in the corridor are on a timer. They only stay on for 1 minute, and then they turn off. They need someone to control the light switch continuously. Jeannie says she will stay behind, no matter how Roman persuades her. It's of no use. As the others proceed ahead, it's Jeannie's turn. She turns the light switch to the maximum. Then she starts walking towards the end of the corridor, because she is afraid of touching the spiders and their webs. Her attention is solely focused on avoiding the spiders, but she forgets to keep track of time, even though the others at the end of the corridor frantically gesture and signal to her. It's still in vain. The lights suddenly go out. Everyone's heart skips a beat. At the critical moment, Ginny lights her own lighter. Finally, the group reaches the apartment door. Just as they are about to rush out, they discover the door is locked from the outside by the police. They desperately pound on the door, but they are informed that the apartment is temporarily closed. No one is allowed in or out. Roman becomes desperate. He kicks the door forcefully. The police outside bring out tear gas. The group is overwhelmed by the tear gas, with tears streaming down their faces. As Dick bends down and stands up, he happened to see on the ceiling a man trapped inside a giant cocoon, and a black spider over 1 meter wide, staring at the group. Dick was frightened out of his wits. The group hurriedly takes big strides, trying to reach another exit, but they are blocked by a group of spiders. Amidst the chaos, the group finds a sealed storage room. Spiders cannot enter this room, so it is still safe. Roman also discovers some emergency supplies, so they plan to rest here for a while. He finds alcohol and glass bottles, and makes a few makeshift Molotov cocktails. Once everyone feels better, they decide to go to the underground parking garage. There are 5 to 6 exits there. The police won't be able to seal them off, but just as they are about to take action, they encounter a swarm of spiders. Roman throws a Molotov cocktail. As a dazzling blaze erupts, some spiders roll on the ground, burning. It seems that fire is effective. Before long, an even larger group of spiders attacks. The group doesn't dare to hesitate. They hurriedly run into Marley's house. Marley's house is completely wrapped in plastic wrap, so no spiders have entered yet. Just as the group relaxes, a group of police officers break in through the door. They bring Roman and his group down to the ground. When Roman wakes up, he realizes he has been captured in the underground parking garage. Through a conversation with the police chief, he learns, in fact, the police were aware of the situation even earlier than Roman. That a viral event had occurred in the apartment building. Due to the lack of a proper response plan, they resorted to this course of action, sealing off all entrances and exits. Just as the words fell, a sound suddenly comes from the dark door. The police officers immediately remain cautious. At that moment, countless spiders rush out from behind the door. The police officers open fire in response. Without flamethrowers, the police officers quickly become overwhelmed. Dick also notices the marks of parasitic infestation on his neck. To save Ginny's life, he stands up and charges towards the swarm of spiders. In the midst of chaos, Roman unties Ginny's ropes, along with the police chief quickly get into a car. But just as they start the engine, preparing to escape, the Spider King, over 1 meter wide, suddenly appears in front of them. At this moment, the three of them are already in despair. They are almost about to give up, but the spider suddenly runs away for unknown reasons. Without time to think, Roman quickly drives, leaving this hellish place. To eradicate the spiders, the government orders the destruction of the apartment building. So far, the movie ends. The film, Vermines, was released in 2024. As a new director, Sebastian Vaniak uses bold camera shots, a tight plot arrangement, making it a visually stunning alternative horror film. This is a movie that brings excitement and joy. If you enjoy my channel, please consider subscribing.